It was dinner time, and we started looking for a place to eat. We were on I-40. We got to exit 238, Lebanon, Tennessee. We got off the exit, started looking. We found a Shoney's restaurant, low-cost family restaurant chain, for those of you who don't know it. We went in and sat down at the booth, and the waitress came over, made a big commotion over tipper. She took our order and then went to the couple in the booth next to us, and she lowered her voice so much I had to really strain to hear what she was saying. And she said, "Yes, that's former Vice President Al Gore and his wife, Tipper." And the man said, "He's come down a long way, hasn't he?" There's been kind of a series of epiphanies. The very next day, continuing a totally true story, I got on a G5 to fly to Africa to make a speech in Nigeria in the city of Lagos on the topic of energy. And I began the speech by telling them the story of what had just happened the day before in Nashville. And I told it pretty much the same way I've just shared it with you. Tipper and I were driving ourselves, Shoney's, low-cost family restaurant chain, what the man said. They laughed. I gave my speech, then went back out to the airport to fly back home. I fell asleep on the plane until during the middle of the night we landed on the Azores Islands for refueling. I woke up, they opened the door, I went out to get some fresh air, and I looked, and there was a man running across the runway. And he was waving a piece of paper, and he was yelling, "Call Washington! Call Washington!" And I thought to myself, in the middle of the night, middle of the Atlantic, what in the world could be wrong in Washington? Then I remembered it could be a bunch of things. But what it turned out to be was that my staff was extremely upset because one of the wire services in Nigeria had already written a story about my speech, and it had already been printed in cities all across the United States of America. It's printed in Monterey, I checked. And the story began, former Vice President Al Gore announced in Nigeria yesterday, quote, "My wife Tipper and I have opened a low-cost family restaurant named Shoney's, and we are running it ourselves." Before I could get back to U.S. soil, David Letterman and Jay Leno had already started in. One of them had me in a big white chef's hat. Tipper was saying, "One more burger with fries." 3 days later, I got a nice, long, handwritten letter from my friend and partner and colleague, Bill Clinton, saying, "Congratulations on the new restaurant out." We like to celebrate each other's successes in life.